Peter Obi is not supported because he is Igbo. It is because he is competent, Aisha Yusufu. A few hours ago, a well-known Nigerian human rights activist, Aisha Yusufu, while sharing on her official Twitter page, has revealed that the former governor of Anambra State and presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Gregory Obi, is not supported by Nigerians because he is an Igbo man, but because he is competent enough to handle the affairs of the country. Well, it might interest you that many Nigerians, especially on social media platforms, has alleged that Peter Obi has what it takes to rewrite the history of this great country. Although we still have other outstanding candidates, but Peter Obi, in one way or another, has won the hearts of many Nigerians. Based on these notes, the founder of the Bring Back Our Girls movement, Aisha Somtochukwu Yusufu, I'm not sure where Somtochukwu came from, but we'll see, made it clear that the support Peter Obi is getting from Nigerians is because he's competent enough to lead the country, not because he's Igbo. And she puts hashtag issues from Twitter. Well, absolutely, I mean, those that are going to take it as, oh, because he's Igbo, be realistic. This is a country that has been against or fought against Igbo for so long. So really, you have political parties that, before we got to this point, or before the people, insisted on fairness and equity, I think they were totally fine with going with the usual pattern of things. And if we're going to be fair, the South has gotten it, so it's like the only region that is really left is the Southeast. But the intention to keep going or keep it to the North, was pretty much in action, to be honest, until the people woke up to realize that actually this is not fair. And so what they've now done to make it a little bit, acceptable, is to have, the tactic that PDP is using is to have an Igbo person or one from the Southeast as the vice presidential candidate, which is like, you're not going to get a prize. And I think if you're going to continue with that sentimental mindset in making your decisions, then you are totally wrong, because you're dealing with a different set of Nigerians. And of course, with the APC that are literally going with the plan full steam ahead. But then you've also got Peter Obi. And let us think, if Peter Obi did not come out and join the Labour Party, we would literally be arguing about either the PDP or the APC, because there was no way that Peter Obi was going to win in a party that they had Atiku already. So I think Peter Obi must have seen that, and 3 days of the primaries, he joined the Labour Party, which I think for Nigerians is the best gift he could really ever do for Nigerians, because we would again be stuck in the cycle of choosing the less of two evils, or the lesser of two evils, and see, okay, fine, we're stuck again. And then you also have the likes of Shore and other candidates as well, who really, not that they don't have competent ideas, but if they're going to get anywhere, they're going to be forced to join these top two parties, which again is literally bondage as ever. So really, when you talk about this whole situation, it's really not because Peter Obi is Igbo, because really, in terms of picking what is the best for Nigerians, we are totally not going to get it from APC or PDP. And if we're going to be talking about the choices and options that we have, if Peter Obi wasn't there, we are pretty much doomed. And you would find that maybe Shore would probably be having a bit more, getting a bit more traction in terms of his campaign and all that, because I don't think Nigerians are willing to make the mistake of PDP and APC yet another time. But it still doesn't take away from the fact that, these individuals or these parties can still work their way through to power, because that's what they've been doing all this time. Okay. Look, so first comment, Aisha is ignorant. What ideas has Obi preferred to the problems of Nigeria? You may be involved in criticism, but you're ignorant about Nigeria's challenges and how to solve them. Hence, your value for Obi sermon. Okay. You have to understand, I even now I don't even think that. I think Peter Obi is really the only option, to be honest. We don't have the luxury of really selecting who we want, except somebody is going to volunteer and Nigerians will be like, this is who we're backing no matter what. But then if you're going to compare the Labour Party to the other two parties, they haven't gained or been as relevant as the other two parties. So, of course, it'll be hard for them. But when it comes to ideas, now we're looking at choice. Because it is a choice. And your choices are only as good as the options that you have. So, with the options that you have, when you are not going to be the one to expand your options, you choose what the best is for you. And Nigerians have always been choosing, we've had two bad eggs, but which one is less bad? But in this case, you now have another option, which I don't really think is an option, but literally a way out in this time, and that is Peter Obi. So if you're going to talk about ideas, I mean, well, support Shura then, because I think he has fantastic ideas, 100%. I think, of course, with arguments of him never being in office, but if you're going to talk about ideas, we should look at the likes of Shura and also others as well. And if anything, talking about ideas, Peter Obi has been given ideas. I mean, Peter Obi has pretty much showing his approach to fixing problems by what? By learning. Because he understands that really we cannot depend on ourselves or the mistakes or the decisions that we've made in the past to have a different avenue or different result for the future. For example, electricity. That is why when he travels around to go learn what other countries are doing, he gets criticized, but really, sometimes it really does mean that you have to step outside of Nigeria, being well exposed of what things should actually be like. And then you look back into Nigeria and you're like, what a mess. Even when you're in Nigeria, your understanding of them, you know what the mess is. But I think when you're well exposed, it's very different. So if he's going to go, for example, as I said, with electricity, because really I don't think I should be explaining this. You do the research yourself. And if you still feel like Peter Obi is not the man and you want to go for Tinubu and Atiku, well, that is on you because you must want to suffer. But really, when you listen to the individuals speak, I mean, he does the convincing himself, but really, not that he does the convincing. Nigerians know what they want and they see it in him, so that is who they support. We are talking about options. So if we're really going to be excited, we should have like 2-3 other people like Peter Obi's that we can say, okay, fine. Because really, until we have options like that, there is no way APC and BDP will be in the conversation. We can easily just shove them out because really, what we're going to compare Peter Obi to will be those that are of his kind and those that Nigerians want. So I think really, it's really not about religion, ethnicity, but we can't also undermine its influence and how mentally we've all been conditioned to a very large extent to take that into consideration. Well, it then differs from perspectives because you have the winners and the losers. Put what you think in the comment section below and don't forget to like and subscribe.